Yeah. Next one's from Jason Turpin. Subject is DDP as Laparca. Hey guys, want to ask you about the 1997 Nitro where DDP wrestled dressed as Laparca versus a Macho Man. DDP claims that only 5 people in the building knew he was Laparca. Were the boys legitimately surprised? What did Laparca think of the angle? For reference, Conan wrestled Joe Gomez earlier the night, and Disco was still on his Jacqueline sabbatical. Thanks, Jason Turpin. 100%. I absolutely did not know that was Paige. Like that's true. They had everybody swerved.
Were you there? Were you there?
I was there, and I popped huge. Yeah. I had no clue because it was a very simple. If you look back at the segment, if anybody Googles this, it was done very well because he didn't really. All he did one time was just do the Laparca gimmick, but he was the same size.
Yeah,
it's like if you were not like say if you weren't stooged off to it, it was a great angle because he fooled me, and sure. I worked there, so I was like, that's how good it was.
I mean, it'd be interesting to hear your take on this because I know when Eric Bischoff came to TNA, that was one of his. He loved to do stuff where he worked the boys. Like he loved doing stuff where like nobody knew, and then and was he like that back then too? Like he wanted to try to kayfabe everyone.
Well, we just knew there was a stooge culture,
right?
Because everybody was reading the dirt sheets were coming in the mail. So you get to the show. And like everybody be reading the dirt sheet, guys have Eric would be reading it because they're finding out what the dirt. So you're wondering like, okay, this guy's we're stooging off information to the dirt sheets. We're in a legit ratings war. Yeah. So like any piece of information that like we were stooging off finishes to WWE. So it's like anything that we were stooging that was being used as information that would work against us. Eric was trying to weaponize every tool. Every weapon he had in his thing to try to win the ratings war. So people say, "Oh, they did that for the dirt." It's like, no, we were fine. There's an information leak.
Yeah,
and we realized that. So go ahead.
Like spoilers, it sucks. Like nobody wants. Like what's the point in trying to come up with all? It's like you get this whole culture of people who are busy picking apart every single bit of creative. This was a terrible angle, and here's why it doesn't work. And this was boring. This doesn't, this was predictable, and blah blah blah. But at the same time, they're also like getting all the spoilers about like, the plan is that they're going to push this guy, and they're going to. It's like you're taking all the magic away from it. Like I don't care. I don't care what era you were in. If you'd have known, like, think of like my generation. Like most of the guys my generation, like when we were kids and we were, totally innocent, we had that innocence. For me, Bret Hart was my hero. But before that, it was like Ultimate Warrior, and obviously Hogan and, like Undertaker, we were legit scared of. And, like for English kids, obviously like Davey Boy was a huge deal. But like, imagine when like Ultimate Warrior had come along and he was like Dingo Warrior. So imagine if like we'd have all been reading like, they've got huge plans to push this Dingo Warrior guy. You know what I mean? Right away, you've got now you've got a sort of bastardized view of it. Right now you're already, okay, here it comes. He's going to win again. Like it's that whole thing is, and it's brutal. It's so hard to capture any magic. Like if you're constantly looking through it, trying to read between the lines on every single thing. And like I can see why you would do everything you can to try to resist that culture.
Right.
That's what happened to Reigns. When Reigns debuted with the Shield, like the word already was like he's going to have this. He's never going to take a fall. Next year at the Rumble, he's going to throw out 14 people to break the record. Right. And the following year, he's going to win the Rumble, and it's going to be him and Lesnar. Like that was immediately.
I'm so glad that he's like finally just like killing it as a top guy. Yeah. He's been a top guy for so long, and like and was just
had the media demonizing him.
Yeah, right, and, like
ridiculous.
Dude, like anyone with any common sense, like I get asked this inevitably every interview I ever do, like. Well, if you could wrestle anyone, do it. Roman.
Roman.
Imagine the money I could do with Roman. You know what I mean? I go, yeah. Like if it was obviously it has to be done right, and it would have to be everything would have to line up and everything. But like, yeah, dude, like that guy's money.
Yeah.
Like and I look at him and go, man, imagine the antithesis of like his character and my character. With the sort of British guy. Like I know I'm a. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, I'm the British guy with the suave of the suits, a little bit of like supercilious sort of debonair attitude, and then you've got this guy.
Those Islanders are you're in the people in the business. Okay, we're the wrestlers, we're all the boys. But the Islanders, the Tongans, the Samoans, bro, they're scary people.
They're legit.
To the people like in the business, it's like you do not want to ever. Even the tough guys know you never want to mess with these guys. Because they're savages, kind of like Bro, I got a funny story. So we were getting drug tested. Okay, maybe in physicals or physicals. Okay, we're doing physicals, and I think we're at Universal. Okay, and so I'd been there 3-4 months. We do the Disney tapings every year. We'd go there for spend 10 days there. That's where everybody bonded. Like the early stage of WCW, did the worldwide tapings, 10 days in Disney, all at the same hotel. Everybody going out together at night, waking up, going to just. That's where we bonded, right? So we do the Disney tapings, and so we're doing the drug testing, or we're taking physicals, okay? And I think that we were in line to get like a shot, right? And so we're all there. Everybody's in this if you've been at Universal, yeah. the building where the green room is. Okay, hypothetically speaking, it's one of those buildings where then we're in the line from there's 7 or 8 people lined outside the green room waiting to go in the green room to get the thing. Okay, that's you've been there. Okay, mm-hmm. So everybody's kind of standing around and and I was probably the third or fourth person in line, and I didn't realize I was the third or fourth person in line. I just saw one of the nurses came out and say, "Hey, who's next?" Nobody was responding for a good 10 to 20 seconds or whatever it was. So I just walked right in and did the thing. Okay. I came out, because they closed the door to do the thing. I came out, and Barb and Ming were supposed to be next. Okay. All right. So I come out, and I'm laughing, ooh, I got stuck in there. I'm bragging because I snuck in there and did it.
Involving Haku.
I'm bragging because I jumped the line. Okay. And I come out and everything, So when you walk out of the building and you know where we are, okay, because you've been there many times. You walk out of the building and you take the right where the things are. Okay, so I'm walking back from the studio where the ring is in, okay, where the studio, and I'm walking back towards that way, and Ming and Barb are coming. Bro, Ming corners me and starts yelling. This comes right in my face. Starts yelling at me, calling me a disrespectful punk for jumping in front of him in line. Okay, I'm petrified.
Of course.
Because I'm thinking it's just me, and it's me, him, and Barb right next to him, and right there. And I'm thinking he's going to slap me, or he's going to give me the whatever. He's going to,
death grip.
He was pissed.
Yeah.
Okay, this was my reaction. Okay, bro, I apologize. I'm so sorry. Here's what I said. Let me buy you lunch. He goes, "What the you want to buy me lunch?" He's screaming at me for thinking that's go to bro. I was scared to death.
Yeah.
Nobody. I think David Penzer saw this exchange. Nobody else saw it. It was right there and everything. But I was absolutely petrified. But the funniest thing about it was this was early in the day, right? 6 hours later, he comes beside me, puts his hand on my shoulder, goes, "You're a good kid. No worries." That's what he was like. He was a super nice guy, but scary as hell. You know.